Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Walaikum assalam.
Walaikum salam.
Okay.
Walaikum assalam.
Assalamu wa rahmatullah. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين، ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين. أما بعد. So this is our second session of learning your deen, and in this series of discussion we are focusing on aqaid related some important questions. And last time we discussed about the existence of Allah Azza wa Jal. We briefly touched upon the theory of Darwin as well as the theory of Big Bang. So in today's conversation, we are going to talk about another very important question which is raised and which is asked in our contemporary world. And that is, I'm a good person, but not religious. Do I need to follow a religion? Isn't it sufficient to be a good person? So let's see what the answer of this question can be. Please remember, if you have any questions in regards with this topic or any other closed topics, please write in your chat box. At the end of the discussion, I'll check, inshallah, the chat box and respond accordingly. So the first thing I'd like to discuss is, what is the definition of deen? What is the definition of religion? Without understanding that, answering to that question will not be possible. Religion or deen can be defined in different ways, but from Islamic perspective and also from general understanding, religion means the system of life, the fundamentals, the principles, the manners, the beliefs, the practices according to which we lead our lives. That system of life is called religion. And based on this definition, I can say you cannot imagine any person in this world who is irreligious. Generally, this term is used to label those people who don't believe in Allah, don't believe in any religion, as irreligious people. While the reality is, you cannot imagine even a single person in this world without a religion. Every person has some sort of religion. Yes, there are certain people who believe in Allah Azza wa Jal, and there are a lot of people who believe, for example, may I request all the participants to please switch off and turn off your mics. So There are a lot of people who say that I'm of no religion. It has become a kind of fashion in our contemporary world that people here and there, they say, I'm of no religion. What do you mean you're of no religion? Don't you have any system of life? Any system of life that you have adopted, that you live by, that you practice, that is your religion. So this is a definition of religion. Here is a beautiful surah in Quran, and I'm pretty sure that majority of you know this surah by heart. This surah is called Surah Al-Kafirun. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. قل يا أيها الكافرون لا أعبد ما تعبدون ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد لكم دينكم ولي دين. Let me just translate this surah quickly. قل يا أيها الكافرون. Say, O my messenger, tell them, your enemies, those who are rejecting your message, or the disbelievers, or those who reject my message, لا أعبد ما تعبدون, I do not worship what you worship, ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد, nor you worship what I worship, ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم, I've never worshipped what you've been worshipping, ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد, and you are not going to worship what I worship or who I worship. لكم دينكم ولي دين. This is the point. At the end of this surah, Allah Azza wa Jal says, لكم دينكم ولي دين. Your religion is for you, and my religion is for me. O my messenger, tell them straightforwardly, your religion is for you, and my religion is for you. So even the disbelievers, they've been given a religion. They've been called religious people. So as I said in the beginning, you cannot imagine a single person on this planet without a religion. Every individual does have some sort of religion. Even those people who call themselves of no religion or irreligious or anti-religious, even these individuals have some sort of religion. Whatever they practice, whatever they believe, their belief system, their practices, they are their religion. So lakum dinukum waliya din. So when we confirm, when we deduce that without a system of life, no one can survive, and that system of life is called religion. Now it's time for us to determine, to check where we can get that system of life. What are the possible sources of the rules, of the laws, of the ethics, or in one word, system of life, which will govern our life, which will live our life accordingly. So here are in fact three main sources where we can take that religion, that system of life. It could come from every person. So for example, there are 8 billion people. So in that case, there will be 8 billion religions. So everyone makes his or her own rules, regulations, fundamental principles, ethical qualities, and they live their lives according to those principles that they have set.
Yeah. Biscuit has already done a video on this.
May I request, could you please turn off your mic? Let me do something from here. Mute all. So I've muted you all, but it doesn't mean that you cannot ask a question. Even during conversation, if you feel that you really need to ask a question, just unmute yourself and ask the question. And preferably, instead of asking a question with your voice. You just type the question. At the end of the conversation, inshallah, I'll check and I'll reply to your question. Thank you very much. So there are three possible sources for the system of life which governs our life, which we live by. Number one, each and every individual. Does it make sense? Of course not. If we go with this option that each and every individual makes laws, all people will be lawmakers. And then the world will be a kind of chaos. There will be no place for rules and regulations. You have your own principles, I have my own principles, this, that. Every individual, they have their own principles, and the world will come to a halt. The world will not be able to function. Second group, a group of people, they are given the privilege to make the laws and determine the ethical characteristics, the system of life which governs our life. Again, the point is, who has given them this right? And how these individuals have the authority to make rules and regulations for us? They are no more human than us. We all are human beings. They have the right to make laws which will rule our worldly life and the life after our death. Every aspect of our life will be ruled by their laws and by their commands. Who has given them the right? So again, this is not something that an intellectual person can accept, a free person can accept. So ultimately, the source, the ultimate source of deducing the laws for our practical lives, for our belief system, for our temporal life, for our permanent life, for our dunya, for our akhirat, the ultimate source of those laws and ethical characteristics and notions is Allah Azza wa Jal. How and why? Simply because Allah is our creator, or in other words, Allah is our manufacturer. If you purchase a computer from a company or from a brand, do you have the right to write down the manual for that computer, how it should be functioning, how it should be used? No. Those who have made that computer, they have the right to make the manual, how to use that computer. And the same thing applies for mobile phones, for cars, and for every device, for every machine that we use. So even if we consider a human being just a machine, again, the question is, who has the right to create the manual, to make the manual for this machine? Of course, the best answer will be the one who has created this machine. And no one has created a human being other than Almighty Allah Azza wa Jal, as we discussed in last session. So, any system of life that people have chosen, that is considered their religion, but the best system of life will be the one which comes from Almighty Allah Azza wa Jal. The best manual will be the one which comes from the manufacturer. You have the right to, no one is going to stop you, no one can stop you to write a manual, how to use your mobile phone, how to use your computer, how to use any delicate machinery that you've purchased. No one can stop you. But is this the best manual? Of course not. The best manual is the one which comes from the manufacturer. Now we'll move to the third slide. As we discuss that there are a lot of people who say, I'm a spiritual person, I'm a good person, but I don't believe in any religion. First of all, this point doesn't make much sense. Because if you say you are a good person, for everything there should be a foundation. What is the foundation of your virtue? If you build a building without a strong foundation, that building will be a kind of risk, will be prone to fall down at any point. So anything which is raised, which is built up, but doesn't have a strong foundation, has the chance to collapse at any time. So if we say that we are good people, we are spiritual people, but we don't believe in Allah Azza wa Jal, we don't believe in any religion, it is exactly like a building without a foundation. What is the foundation of your goodness? What is the source of your spirituality? If you don't have any source, where will you get the spirituality? What is the backup of your spirituality? So this is a serious question, which unfortunately none of these people are able to respond logically. When I look into today's world and I see the disbelief is growing, more and more people are abandoning religion. They are turning to, for example, atheism, or just the same sentence or same notion that we are discussing. I'm a good person, I'm a spiritual person, but I don't believe in any religion. More and more people are turning to this notion. What is the main cause, or what are the causes of disbelief in religion? Why people are abandoning religion? Why people are drifting away from the standard religious system? Here are some points. I'm mentioning here 5 of them. Number 1, lack of knowledge. Majority of people, especially in Western world where we are living, they appear to you very knowledgeable, very philosophical. They wear beautiful suits and they put tie on top of that, and they are quite educated people. They have huge qualifications, but believe me, none of them, or almost all of them, when it comes to religion, they are in dark ignorance. They have zero knowledge when it comes to religion. If you ask them, even the worst enemies of Islam, those who are propagating against Islam day and night, what do you know about Islam? You are opposing Islam. You are against Muslims. You label yourself as Islamophobe, for example. If you are opposing something, the very foundation of your opposition should be that you know that thing very well. And because of knowing the risks that notion contains, you are opposing that. Then your opposition will be considered something logical. Why are you opposing Islam? Why are you hateful against Islam? You will be shocked that majority of them have zero knowledge about Islam. So most of the people, they don't know about religion. They haven't studied religion, especially the society we are living in. When they are born, if they are lucky, or if the family is religious, they are taken to a church for baptism. That was in fact something in olden days. Now even this level of practice of Christianity has been gone away. and it's become a part of history. And the second time they go to a church, or they come across, they come in touch of a religion when they die. So when they are born, they go to a church, and when they die, they go to a church. This is the situation. They never study anything about religion. They never talk to any religious scholar. So this is in fact the situation. Lack of knowledge. And on top of that, false propaganda. Propaganda machines, day and night, they are just passing wrong information and creating misinformation, propaganda against Islam, against religion, and against religious people. And majority of people, they really believe in them. The materialistic approach and lifestyle. When we look at today's world is in fact in the hands of a bunch of materialistic people. And these individuals, we think that the parliament is running this country, and the prime minister or presidents, they are running the world. No, this is not the case. In many cases, only a few individuals, they are the runners of the world. And when it comes to religion, they find religion extremely dangerous for their materialistic approach and materialistic goals. That's why they promote atheism. They promote, I'm a good person without any religion, because in this way they can make people believe in their materialistic agendas. But if people believe in true religion, for example, if people believe in Islam, their jobs will be extremely difficult, because Islam teaches great lessons. Islam gives enough insight to people so they can see who is doing what. They want blinded people. They don't want human beings. They want just machines and robots who are consuming their products and filling their pockets. That is their agenda. And that's why you see overall religion is being undermined. But on top of that, Islam is being targeted specifically, because Islam creates barriers in their ways, in their political and in their materialistic agendas. And unfortunately, majority of people, they have followed them, and they have developed very materialistic approach and lifestyle. They wake up and they think about nothing except their pleasures, except their merrymaking system of life, selfish. They just want to have enough food on their table, enough drinks, wines, dancing, dating, drinking. That is their life. So majority of people, because they have adopted this materialistic system of life, when it comes to religion, they find religion very contradictory to the system of their life. And unfortunately, they are like silkworms. Silkworms, they spin the net around them. Eventually, they are trapped inside that. So in the same way, these people, they are trapped in materialistic system of life, but they don't realize. They are so drunkard, they are so intoxicated that they don't realize anything. But when it comes to religion, definitely they are very apprehensive. They go against the religion because apparently religion, in fact, strips them away from their pleasures and from their materialistic lives. However, they forget that religion will provide them ultimate peace and ultimate serenity, as we'll discuss, inshallah, a later time. They seek their peace and serenity in drugs, in alcohol, in wines, in dating, in going to pubs, in going to clubs. And they get nothing except more and more thirst. Like those people who are thirsty and try to quench their thirst by drinking salty waters. It doesn't matter how much you drink, you are going to be more and more thirsty. Eventually you will die. So this is the situation of our contemporary world. They are trapped. Stereotypes. In Western world, a lot of people, they reject Islam, they reject religion because of the stereotypes. We say in English, first impression is the last impression. They are born in families which have rejected religion because of some of the mistakes of Christianity in medieval period. In medieval era, churches, they made horrible mistakes, and the impressions of those mistakes are still in the minds of Western people. So that's why when it comes to the name of religion, they think, okay, Christianity was a religion, Judaism was a religion, Islam is also a religion. So there shouldn't be any difference. Therefore, they never think about Islam. They just label, they just trash it just by hearing the name of religion. Number 5, wrong beliefs and practices of religious people. There are unfortunately a lot of religious people who believe in horrible things and they practice more horrible things, and that really discourages people or repels people from coming even closer to religion. For example, I've just put here some examples. There are a lot of religious people who believe that if you are a religious person, you shouldn't have any pleasures in this world. You should avoid all the beauties of this world and only think about akhirah. This notion is extremely disregarded by Allah Azza wa Jalla. قُلْ مَنْ حَرَّمَ زِينَةَ اللَّهِ الَّتِي أَخْرَجَ لِعِبَادِهِ وَالطَّيِّبَاتِ مِنَ الرِّزْقِ. All the blessings of this world Allah has created, in fact, for those who believe in Allah Azza wa Jalla. If others are using, they are just using. They are taking for granted. Allah has not created the blessings of this world for them. All the blessings, all the beauties of this world have been created by Allah Azza wa Jalla, specifically for the believers. Number 2, second example, harshness and violence. There are a lot of religious people who've got very harsh attitude, very violent nature, and because of that, those people who are not religious or those people who follow other religions, they drift away from religion. In past, for example, a lot of scholars, they were butchered, they were killed badly by Christians because they believed in science. They wanted to discover the world. That was the only crime. They got killed. They got crucified. And even in our present world, when we look at majority of religious people, unfortunately, they are quite narrow-minded. They are fighting with one another. They are labeling one another as people of hellfire. Religion is not here to judge each other. Religion is here to help one another. So instead of helping one another, they are judging one another. And if you look at, for example, Muslim world, they are fighting with one another. And when people who are in between, they are not dedicated religious people, and at the same time they are not irreligious people. When they want to make the decision, they make the decision based on their observations, and the observations say religion is creating fighting in the world. And this is in fact another propaganda which is used by media, which is used by atheist groups, which is used by materialistic approach to ditch the religion. The religion is of no use, it's just creating violence. No, it's not the case. A country cannot be judged by its people. A country's constitution cannot be judged by its people. It's people who should be judged in accordance with the constitution. A religion cannot be judged by its people. The people should be judged by the principles, by the systems which has been introduced in religion. Muslims should be judged according to Islam, not Islam, not the vice versa. Okay. I'm just skipping this story. This is a beautiful story, but I'm just skipping for the sake of time. Personal experience. There are a lot of people who have personal experiences, bad personal experience. They were a friend of some religious people, for example, and those religious people betrayed them. That broke their trust, and they took their whole religion from them. And there are a lot of stories. So this is one of the reasons why people abandon religion. And that's why Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to encourage Muslims, "Kunu du'atan nas bighayri alsanatikum." O Muslims, it is your responsibility to bring people closer to religion, however, not with your tongues, but with your actions. Your actions should be in a way that people are automatically encouraged to come closer to the religion of Allah. Or Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam used to say, "Kunu lana zayna." Or people, it is your responsibility to be an adornment, a beauty for us. وَلَا تَكُونُوا عَلَيْنَا شَيْئًا. And if you cannot be a beauty for us, at least do not be a stand for us. If you cannot attract people towards religion, then at least do not distract people from religion. Now the question is, are these right excuses to abandon religion? The 5 excuses that I discussed, are these right excuses to abandon religion? Of course not. You cannot imagine any important thing of this world where there are not abuses. Can you imagine medical field without abuse? There are a lot of doctors who are extremely horrible. They abuse their position and they make people's life hell. So can you stop visiting doctors? There are a lot of politicians, majority of politicians, unfortunately, for example, who are corrupt. So can you say politics is bad and it must be abandoned altogether? All the parliaments must be destroyed? You cannot imagine any field of our life which is free from corruption. But it doesn't mean we'll avoid that. We should try to fix the problems, not to avoid the good things because of the existing problems. The same thing applies with religion. And people cannot put forward these excuses before Allah Azza wa Jalla. They cannot say on the day of judgment, I didn't believe in religion, or I abandoned religion because of this and that. This individual who was religious, he behaved horribly, so I left religion. No, that is not sufficient. Allah Azza wa Jalla will challenge you. Hey, what are you talking about? Didn't I give you intellect? A massive brain? Why didn't you use your massive brain? Why did you fall into the agendas of the materialistic people? Why didn't you use your brain? Were this and that people your role models? I had introduced prophets. I had introduced 14 Ma'asumin alayhimus salam. If you wanted to see walking and talking examples of Islam, why didn't you go to them? Why did you judge my religion according to those people who didn't follow it correctly? So definitely, these are not sufficient excuses to abandon religion. And now in last slide, I'd just like to go very quickly with the benefits of religion. If we believe in religion, what are the benefits? And this is something that you will never ever see on media. You will never read these benefits in newspapers. You will never learn about these benefits in your schools, in your colleges, in your universities. You will never be informed of these benefits on news channels, in sitcoms, in dramas, in movies, in anywhere. They deliberately undermine these benefits, the benefits of religion. Peace and serenity. Those people who don't believe in religion, it's very difficult to imagine what's going on in their mind, because those people who don't believe in religion, if they don't believe in religion, it means they don't believe in Allah Azza wa Jalla. It means they don't believe in the hereafter. So life, regular life, will be just repetition for them. Will not make much sense. The life will be meaningless without religion. If you don't believe that, just imagine, we were in the wombs of our mother. If we were not supposed to come to this world, would it make any sense to stay 9 months in the wombs of your mother? In the same way, if we come to this world and live here for 60 years, 70 years, 80 years, and there is no life after this planet, after this earth, will it make any sense? Of course not. So those people who believe in Allah Azza wa Jal, they have peace of mind and serenity. Everything makes peace to them. All the blessings and beauties of this world, they've been created by Allah. They know Allah Azza wa Jal. They know their creator who has created, and they know the messengers. They know the path. They know the ways how to live their lives. But those people who don't believe in Allah Azza wa Jal, it's very difficult for them to find peace and serenity. And in fact, the meaning of Islam is acquiring peace through submitting ourselves to the will of Allah. And the meaning of Iman comes from the root word which also means peace. الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَلَمْ يَلْبِسُوا إِيمَانَهُمْ بِظُلْمٍ أُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمُ الْأَمْنُ. Those who believe in Allah Azza wa Jal and they are firm in their belief, they have not contaminated their belief with anything, definitely for them is safety and security and peace. But definitely there is a condition, and that condition is implementing your religion in your lives. The religion gives us hope for future. You see those people who don't believe in religion, if you talk to them, especially when they are in their 60s or when they are sick, you talk to them, you'll find them at most helpless, hopeless, despair. But religion gives us hope of future. When I die, I have a bright future. But those people who don't believe in Allah Azza wa Jal, life is extremely miserable. Helps us unconditionally. Religion helps us unconditionally in all the aspects of our lives. Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, in those dire conditions in the plains of Karbala, he managed to stand firm. It was because of his belief in Allah Azza wa Jal. Even after holding Hazrat Ali on al-Asfar on his hand, after he was shot by 3-headed arrow, Imam Hussein alayhi salam was still firm. It was the power of religion. And you just take the example of, for example, Western world. Because of COVID-19, and if you read the statistics, you will be shocked that since the COVID-19 began, the divorce rate skyrocketed, the violence skyrocketed, drug abuse, crimes, all in all, skyrocketed. Why? Because they needed to compromise a little bit with the comforts, with the habits they were living in. In Western world, the divorce rate has never been as high as in COVID-19 pandemic condition. So it means the community is really fragile. And this is the nature of the people who don't believe in Allah Azza wa Jal. Those who believe in Allah Azza wa Jal, not only their relationships are shattered because of some adjustments in their lives, because of some difficulties in their lives, their relationship gets stronger in the difficulties. You just imagine the life of Imam Ali and Lady Fatima alayhi salam. Can you imagine all the glamours that we have in our lives? No, none of them can be imagined. Their lives were really miserable when it comes to worldly affairs, but they had a most peaceful and serene and calm and benevolent, compassionate, loving and caring relationship. Why? Because they believed in Allah, because they believed in a greater purpose. They were not glued to this lowly temporal world. Their focus was akhirah. Religion promotes selflessness. There are many examples. I'm just avoiding them altogether for the sake of time. Those people who don't believe in religion, their life is just selfishness, based on selfishness. They think generally about themselves. And even if they think about others, they think for themselves in deep down. If they give in charity, they give in charity in most of the cases to avoid taxes. And there are other backgrounds. I cannot deny there are some sincere people as well out there, but if they believe, if those sincere people who are of no religion, if they believed in Islam, if they believed in Allah Azza wa Jal, their lives would be definitely far better than what their life is at present. And finally, religion makes us more responsible and sensible people. It gives an additional surveillance. You see, in COVID-19 situation, crimes, robbery, burglaries, all are increased. Why? Because they need to make some adjustments. And when the electricity goes, for example, if there is no policing system or weakened policing system, then the crimes rate really spike. There have been many examples. There is a flood and people are really struggling. The internet is cut off and the policing system is not working properly. People, instead of helping each other, they rush to shops to loot them. This is the result of not believing in Allah Azza wa Jal. But if a person believes in Allah Azza wa Jal, it doesn't matter whether the police is there or not, whether the law is there or not. Allah Azza wa Jal is always there. So these are in fact just a few benefits of belief in Allah Azza wa Jal. belief in religion, beliefs in Islam. And inshallah, we'll continue this conversation in our next session, and we'll bring another topic for you, which is really important. And unfortunately, we don't have enough time for question and answer, but let me check if we have some relevant questions. Thank you very much for being a part of our discussion. And inshallah, see you all next Saturday at the same time, 7 p.m.